And we're back with another Gamecock Spotlight. We're here with head coach of the women's basketball program, Rick Pietri. Coach Pietri entering year number 11 in Jacksonville and set for the first day of practice. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm excited for us to be starting again. Again, this is my 11th season here. It's my 24th consecutive season as the head Division I basketball coach. So clearly, it doesn't have the same luster as it did on the first season I was a head Division I women's basketball coach. But whenever you start, there is an immediacy to what you're doing. Now, many years ago, the rules were changed where our practice, because back in the day it was October 15. Now, of course, it's 6 weeks before our first scheduled game. So we have a lot longer, more days. We have to give them more off days too, but more days to prepare. And this team needs more days, frankly, because we have so many new players. Out of 13 scholarship players, we only have 5 with experience on the roster. So we have 8 players who will don a uniform in a game for the first time for this university. So we do have a lot of work to do to get everybody on the same page.
Looking forward to 23-24. It's going to be the first season that Jacksonville State competes in Conference USA, a very tough women's basketball league. What are you expecting from the new conference, and what are the Gamecocks going to have to do in order to succeed this season?
Well, it's a great league. And I've pointed this out before to others. When Conference USA split, which is how we got invited in, the remaining teams left finished first, second, fourth, fifth, and eighth. So the higher end of the league is still around, and so it's going to. And that's a league that finished 9th in the net rating out of 32. The A-Sun, as an example, which we were in a year ago, was 22 out of 32. So you're talking about this is a different animal, and the people that are joining the league one is Liberty, who is one of the best programs in the A-Sun, coming with us. New Mexico State's got a solid program, and Sam Houston State does as well. So there'll be no free rides in this league. Virtually every coach in CUSA has won a conference title, either tournament or regular season, as a Division I head coach. So virtually every coach has stood on the mountaintop at one time or another at the Division I level. So this is a hard league, and it'll be a challenge. But we'll accept the challenge, and we feel we can compete with the personnel we've added. If we can get everybody on the same page, I think we can compete in the league with those other folks.
As we preview the roster, you mentioned just a few contributors from last season coming back. Some forward help, thankfully. You've got a couple of seniors in Kiera Griffin and Madison McCoy, and then a sophomore in Brooklyn McDaniel, among others. Big-time forwards coming back. What are you expecting from that position this season and from the returners as a whole?
Well, clearly that's where most of our experience lies. As you mentioned, Kiera Griffin is a 3-year starter. Madison McCoy has been a role player who's played a lot of minutes off the bench the last 2 years. Brianna Rhodes, played a reasonable amount off the bench last year, missed half the season last year, and then but also played a decent amount of freshman year too. So in terms of the front court, that's where the most of our experience is. Brooklyn McDaniel did play some minutes at the 4, but primarily played at the wing, and we expect her to play a lot of wing for us this year as well. So there's no doubt that from a leadership standpoint and from an example standpoint, we'll be leaning on those people who've been in the program to show the newcomers, how it's done and how we do things.
You mentioned 8 newcomers essentially to this year's squad. A lot of guard help coming in from the JUCO ranks, from Division I transfers. What are you hoping to see from them? Because, you've already seen them in practice some here in the offseason. So what are you hoping to see from them as we start official practice?
What I'm hoping to see from them is the best version of who they are, the version of themselves that we invited here. And you know what, that takes time because there's a comfort level that has to be developed. Where they came from, they were very comfortable, and so they were able to excel because of their level of comfortability. We have to get them comfortable within what we're doing, and then hopefully get the best version of who they are. If we get the best version of who all of these individuals are, I feel good about how things will turn out for us.
Coach, looking back at last year, makes it 4 out of the last 5 years that the Gamecocks have had a winning record, 6 years in a row that the team has finished 500 or better in conference play. What are your goals as we look forward to the first season of Conference USA basketball in Jacksonville?
My first inclination in terms of thoughts of goal in Conference USA is let's be competitive and see how many games we can win. The team that won the league, Middle Tennessee, has most everybody back. And Coach Insel has done a great job at Middle Tennessee over the years. It would be arrogant to say, oh, we're going to win a championship this year in a league we've never stepped foot in. So that's not what I'm about right now is figuring out how we can compete the best we can in a league and accrue the most wins that we can, and then get into tournament play and see what happens there. Because obviously in tournament play, you don't have to be hot for very long in order to make a splash. But we want to go into tournament play feeling good about what we've done in the regular season. And so that's the most important thing for me, for us, is that we feel good about what we've done in the regular season.
And finally, Coach, anything else you'd like to add?
No, sir, just ready to get started.